Welcome everyone to another Stock Market Open Live. Welcome back. It is first day after Julian Assange is released. Covered this yesterday. Had a sort of a full breakdown of exactly what was going on there. But it's a big day. Ooh, let's change that audio. There we go. Big day for a journalist. Wow, I don't know why we were on that audio. That's crazy. Anyway, big day for that journalist. We are now trying to see what the fallout will be from the journalist community. Hopefully, you also get that Wall Street Journal journalist freed, who's held captive by Mr. Putin. Journalist captures are always a rough one, since it's somewhat of an indicator of large and heavy censorship, and nobody likes that. But anyway, today is starting to set up as an interesting day. You had a lot of red yesterday, but today you've got 8.2% move on DJT in the AM here. You've got Apple looking like it's trying to move 81 basis points. You've also, this is a wild one, you've got NVIDIA. Look at this, NVIDIA trying to move up 2.6% in the pre-market here. This thing went crashing and dashing into the close. I traded the snot out of that thing into the close, which was great because a lot of the day we were missing a lot of momentum. And it's really boring to trade when there's no momentum. Mostly because it's also hard to trade when there's no momentum. When stocks are just sort of moving sideways, it's very difficult to make money with options, unless, of course, you're selling, or as we say, writing the options. I personally love it when things are going rapidly up or rapidly down, because it's extremely easy to make money. And those are the sort of trends that I like sending as alerts in the Stocks Insight group. But anyway, NVIDIA yesterday tanked into the close, which was glorious, because as it tanked into the close, puts just absolutely printed, and it was very delicious. So I made a lot of money off of NVIDIA yesterday. This is great. Let's see what happens today. But yesterday, NVIDIA was down 6.69%, almost 6.69%. That's just 6.68%. Anyway, that was fascinating because we are now up 2.5% in the pre-market, which is interesting because yesterday we were also down as much as 2 additional percent in the pre-market. So you really kind of had a little shift of sentiment, or whatever you want to call it. So very interesting. Okay, great. So that we'll pay attention to what's going on with NVIDIA here now at about 121. Then we've got ARM moving up on this about 1%. You've got BTC. BTC last night was getting into the 59 territory. 50. Maybe I should say yesterday versus last night. But you go look at this. Yesterday, I think it was afternoon, we got all the way down to 58.3, which is very interesting because I've been talking about Bitcoin going to 58,000 for probably about 2 months now. We hit 58,000. We did not stay at 58,000 for very long. We went from 58,000 right here, right back to 61 where we sit right now. And that 61.7 level is going to serve as a resistance. We've actually seen the rejection here a couple times already at the 61.7 level. So we'll see what happens. Are we going to revisit that 68 level? I don't know, but we shall see. Tesla's moving up after some Chinese registrations were a bit higher than expected, which is very good. Like to see that. I think, if I remember correctly, we had 17,500 registrations in China last week versus the prior week that was closer to the 12,000 range. So substantial move by about 5,000. Very good. DJT pushing by about 9.2% now in the pre-market. Ubiquity's bobbing around the 140 range. You've got Intel moving up 33 basis points. Let's sort by winners and losers right now. What do we got here? Faraday Futures crashing. Plug Power's up 3.6%. You've got, yeah, Tesla up almost 1%. Solar Edge up 17.5%. Sorry. Wow. Solar Edge, sorry, sadly the opposite. Solar Edge is down 17.5%. I gotta find out what the news is on that one. That's a news mover. Solar Edge Technologies to offer $300 million in convertible notes. Shares dropped 9%. Well, clearly now it's down 19%. Oh, and a company called PM&M Electric filed for Chapter 7 bankruptcy. And that business owed Solar Edge about $11 million. Why is Solar Edge lending money? Well, maybe these were like, you know, supply costs. You know, maybe they bought money through bought product like inverters or whatever, and they just never paid their payables. That's possible. Yeah. OpenAI warns they'll block China access to AI tools. Yeah, see, you do that, then they just go make their own, which I know might be a little challenging at this point because they don't have access to the same chipsets that America does thanks to sanctions. But I personally always think that's somewhat short-sighted. It just removes even more potential power from companies like NVIDIA or the United States, as China's just going to end up copying these devices anyway. It's just going to go buy an H100 on the black market and then electron microscope, scan the snot out of it and go, okay, we can make something close to this. You know, because a lot of it has to do with spacing and the chips, nanometer spacing, the configuration, the materials, the voltages that go through the devices. These are all mathematically copyable. You know, we can copy a chip by looking at it and going, oh, okay, that's the spacing. Oh, that's the voltage. Oh, that's the material. So you can reverse engineer these products. Anyway, Chicago Fed activity index comes in at a positive 0.18. We were actually expecting to be negative, so sounds good. Problem is, nobody cares about that kind of data. That's random. Let's look at the Qs. Nvidia's green, so I'm guessing so are they. Yep. Qs are up 42 basis points. At the same time, we have the bond market. Actually, S&P and NAS are both positive. Dow futures are negative, and US 10-year is down about 1.4 basis points. Goldman Sachs says Disney is a buy, and Uber, both together, Disney and Uber, could surge as much as 25%. We've also got oil up at $85 on Brent. Wow. All right. Feels like that just moved $5 out of nowhere. Coinbase now moving up about 2.38%. Have I mentioned that these videos are brought to you by Coinbase? Go to metkevin.com/Coinbase. Paid partner. Get up to $200 in free dollar hollers when you sign up for the coin. Alrighty. So, it's another good old day here, chap. We are at the 25th, which means we are looking at catalysts. Let's grab some catalysts. Today, we get, today's the 25th. We get S&P CoreLogic home prices. That'll come out at 6. At 7, we'll get, alright, consumer confidence. And then we get Richmond Fed manufacturing and Dallas Fed manufacturing at 7 and 7:30. So you have like a small catalyst every 30 minutes. 8 people confirmed killed in Kenyan protests. Yikes. Lufthansa to raise fares by 72 euros as environmental costs increase. Assange's wife will seek a pardon for the WikiLeaks founder. Okay, after we get this data, tomorrow we will get new home sales. And Thursday we will get GDP annualized. And Friday the 28th we will get PCE and the U of M Michigan data. That's redundant. That's like ATM machine. University of Michigan consumer figures will come out on Friday. But everybody's going to be paying attention to PCE, the Fed's preferred inflation gauge, especially since Canada just, let's see here. Canada just came out with an inflation read. I actually think it came in hotter than expected. Oh, yeah. So the Canadian CPI was expected to come in at 2.6%, down from a prior of 2.7, and it actually reversed up to 2.9. So that's somewhat of an indicator to the Fed that, hey, look, it could flip on you pretty fast. On top of that, their monthly inflation read came in, it was expected to be 0.3 down from 0.5. Instead of 0.3, we got 0.6. Oopsies. Oopsies. Yeah, this is very interesting. Is DJT pumping before the debate? I think you might be right. I don't know. The debate could be the catalyst as to why this is moving. I mean, some suggest maybe it's like good old CW, right? Taffy Wood. But I suppose anything's possible. But I like that debate thesis. You know, everybody sees, there's going to be a debate this week? Biden or Trump? Oh, Trump's going to cream. Let's go invest in DJT. I mean, you know me, I try to be politically neutral and look and understand both sides. Big fan of understanding both sides. It just seems like going into the debate, the expectation is Donald Trump's going to just absolutely obliterate Biden. That seems like the expectation. But then again, you look at some of the debates of 2020, and there were times where Trump was attacking Biden so hardcore, and those attacks didn't land because Biden took a little bit more of a presidential route, even though he wasn't president. But see, now the tables have turned. Then Trump was president, and the president had to seem presidential. Now Trump's not president. Biden's president. So it'll be very interesting. Because every sort of insult Trump lands against Biden will just be seen as, well, Biden is president right now. Right? That is one thing that's hard about being an incumbent in an economically challenged time. Whether it's your fault or not, the finger is pointed at you. So, that will be very interesting. All I know is it is very interesting. And Vinny says, F those two Zuckers. Somebody else says, poopy pants. Somebody says, not sure Biden is as sharp now after 4 years of stress. I like Kevin, yet I thought it was a bot when he freaked out swearing at a guy, got triggered. Must have been really tired. I would never swear at anyone. I like when I say the goal is to be politically neutral. There's always somebody. You are not politically neutral. And they never provide a reason either. They're not like, hey, you know, respectfully, I don't think you're neutral because, you know, when you said this, it didn't come across as neutral, which would actually be useful feedback. Instead, it's just, no, you're not. Drug test before the event. I saw that. Trump suggested that they both get drug tested. Kind of funny. It's not gonna happen. And even if it did, I don't know. Would it make a difference? Probably not. But I suppose there's a chance. But obviously, if there was a chance, they wouldn't agree to it. Which then just sort of, that's sort of Trump's point, is that he'll ask for it to imply that Biden might be on something going into the event. And by refusing it, it would just sort of reiterate that Trump is right. Yep. Oh, Biden doesn't have any stress. He doesn't know where he is. Oh. Gavin 24. Coffee and Jack Daniels for the win. Let's go. Yep. Trump promises free old school RuneScape memberships for all. So he says, you ran for governor. You know what I think is so funny is people are like, Kevin, you ran for governor as not a politician because you've never been in politics. But because you ran, now you're a politician. It's crazy. Dude's more hopped up on Adderall than a college student. Oh, it's very interesting. Yeah, I don't think anybody's trying to drug test if Joe Biden is on painkillers or caffeine. I don't think that's what they mean. They both pop positive for Viagra. Oh. Oh. That's going to be very entertaining. Let's put it that way. All right. Oh, that's awesome. You met me in Bakersfield. That's super cool. I remember that. I mean, the Bakersfield local news was there. That was crazy. Somebody's like, why are you so scared to pick a side? I'm not scared to pick a side. I'm really not. I just look like, is it really going to make a difference what my vote in California does? Nope. So I'm just not going to stress about it. So anyway, I'm going to vote for myself because after all, the people in the comment section say I'm a politician. So I guess I will vote for myself. And then that way, we'll still go down as having voted. All right, let's see. What news is there? Putin's peace proposal isn't serious. Before heading off to North Korea last week, Vladimir Putin made a peace offering to Ukraine. Pledged an immediate ceasefire and peace negotiations if Ukraine withdraws from 4 partially occupied regions. Well, that's always been the idea, is that Putin will just take the slice of that eastern front. Yeah. Yeah. That, I feel like, has been going on for, those sort of suggestions have been going on for years, so I don't think anything's going to move there. Banning phones in schools is overdue, per Michael Bloomberg. Last week, the LA Unified School District took a big step in the favor of common sense. It voted to ban mobile phone use during the school days. Other districts should follow, including New York. Teachers know all too well how disruptive phones are to learning. One study found 97% of teens use their phone during school hours. Well, duh. I mean, I remember being in high school, and I would tether my phone to my laptop, my old Toshiba giant 17-inch gaming laptop, and I'd sit there and I'd play World of Warcraft in between, the classes I was able to. Or during. No duh. Phones are great. Do a lot outside of boring school on those. But how will they use GPT to solve them? Oh, I didn't even think about that. Yeah, true. Oh, the GPT in at school. You know, a lot of people. I'm a realtor and recently saw a buyer's proof of funds. They had hundreds of thousands of dollars in ARC with a basis of like 130. Ouch. It'll come back, hopefully. Not financial advice. Yeah, this GPT thing is interesting. I'm a big fan of, as much as possible, like, go ahead and use GPT as maybe a fact check afterwards. But, you know, if education just turns into, throw it into GPT, for, you know, is it gonna, is there a risk that you're creating a generation of dummies? Right? I mean, if children, like, oh, I need to solve this problem. Hey, GPT, what's the answer? What you've done is you've removed the pressure on the child to think. And see, it's not the math that is meant to be useful in the child's life. It is the problem solving, the time pressures of a test, the stress that comes with problem solving that turns children into more functional adults. I'm not saying our school system is great to where people graduate functionally. That's why when I ran for governor, I'm like, this system, needs a little bit of help. But I do wonder how AI will potentially screw up children and just turn them into dummies. Like, I think of, if you're going to write a letter and people just use GPT to write it now, or generate it now, I personally think it's kind of sad. I mean, I remember, it used to be the old school was, here's a piece of paper and a pencil, go write a 5-paragraph essay and make a convincing argument on XYZ or whatever. Go. It's like, oh, okay. You need your hook, intro, the summary, sort of like the intro rather, transition to the first paragraph, the second, the third, and they should have hooks in between each paragraph, or at the beginning of each paragraph. They need a strong close. You're reiterating, because of this, this, and this, therefore X. Well, I don't know. I think a lot of that gets lost, unfortunately. Oh well. I don't know. Maybe I just care because I have 7 children and I think about that. Somebody here says, I still play WoW. You can tell you were playing games during classes. Duh, because I'm an idiot. Kevin, draw the fib lines on NVIDIA. Big rally coming. Yeah, okay. Was this in the cassette player days? I did grow up in the cassette player days, but I never had a cassette player in school. I had a CD-ROM player in school, which then evolved into, these little, started with a CD player, then it moved into the, the small, I think it was like an old one. See, now if I type in MP3 player into Google, they all have, giant screens. Nah, you need, the old, the Walkman stuff. Just put in, let me see if I can find one. I mean, I'm sure some of y'all have seen this kind of crap. Oh, yeah, like this right here. Stuff like this. These things. Similar to these. Or here's an old CD player. Yeah, I had something like this in blue. And then it later turned into something more like this. Except mine had a speaker on it. Sony, I'm pretty sure. Sony Walkman speaker. If I saw it, I'd be able to point it out. But anyway, it's crazy. I don't think I'm ever going to find it. Doesn't really matter. Who cares? You know, obviously, and then the iPods came out with the little scrolly wheel. Original iPod. Yeah, let's go. Those are cool. Yeah, I remember this. They used to sell iPods based on how many songs you could hold. Say hello to iPod. 1,000 songs in your pocket. And it's like, bro, I had like 20 on a CD I burned. I could go to 1,000? And then you didn't need to, like, I mean, I wouldn't, because it's too much to carry. But you could have, you know, like a pouch of multiple CDs. Anyway, kind of crazy. Barely fit in my pocket. Dude, if you could fit a CD player in your pocket, you had some baggy pants. That's funny. Oh, that's really cool. No, cassette tape. Sony Ericsson. Oh, you might be right. Cassette. That sounds very familiar, by the way. Cassette players sucked. Man, we had an old, like, 80s Ford Escort that was waterlogged. I don't know, some insurance fraud used frickin' car when I was a kid. It was the nastiest piece of crap junker ever, rusty and gross. And that sucker would always eat the cassettes. It could just... all of it comes out. That's so annoying. A Sony Ericsson MP3 player. Is that it? No. I need, like, the old stuff. I'm gonna put, like, original, maybe. Anyway. Gotta get off this. And look at the not news that exists. I don't know. That sounded familiar, but... I don't know why I can't find the darn thing. It was an old Sony MP3 player with a speaker. And I should put, like, old. But it was only at the top. It's like one of the most bizarre contraption-looking things I've ever seen. You know, like rectangle with a little cylindrical speaker at the top. It is bizarre. Anyway, it doesn't really matter. So, skip protection, yeah. Anyway, alright. I used to have a video camera that took VHS and filmed magic tricks on my old Disney movies. Now, see, that's cool. I feel like I used to vlog before vlogging was a thing, because I would take an old, last thing on this, and then we really got to get back to the not finance news that exists. Sony is a Handycam from the 90s. Yeah. Yes. Yes. This was like, when I was a kid, I'd walk around Disney with one of these. Except I would put my hand through the wrist thing backward, like the other way, and then I'd flip the little rotating monitor, and I'd just walk around Disney filming myself. And back then, it was so rare for people to have a video camera. People would be like, oh, are you making a home movie? No shit. That's crazy. All right, then there's Jimbo.
Care about what these stocks are doing. There's not enough money to go around. There's just not. There's a lot of safe money at 5. To get people to come in and buy something, you need FedEx today to say they see an acceleration. Or you need to see, there's a lot of chatter about the auto companies. Maybe they have to cut prices. You need to see somebody, some Fed official say, look, you know what, we're looking at the data, and maybe we see some softness. We got to
Sony Talk Boy. No, that's... It's in maybe in that direction, but it was still not that. Thank you for trying, though.
CEO, and they come over and over again and say, look, it's my quiet period, I can't tell you. It's my quiet period, I can't tell you. And finally say, okay, whatever you say. That was like, whatever you say, yes, if it gets hot, we will raise. And then that gets to be the quote of the day. Oh, it's going to get hot, and they'll raise. So we need to see Fed shut up or Fed say, hey, listen, it's okay. Then we need to see some sector of the economy that's indicating that it's doing a little better. before we just say, you know what, it's time to buy
Yeah.
NVIDIA.
Well,
It's time to buy the rest of the market.
We'll pay attention
You
to
just said buy Nvidia a week ago, Jim, at all-time highs, and then it fell like 20%.
when she did remove her expectations for cuts into 25. Take a listen.
Should the incoming data indicate that inflation is moving sustainably toward our 2% goal, it will eventually become appropriate to gradually lower the federal funds rate to prevent monetary policy from becoming too restrictive. However, we're still not yet at the point where it's appropriate to lower the policy rate.
At the same time, you had Daly yesterday say the labor market might be at an inflection point, and not in a good way.
I don't know where these people get this information. I don't know what they're looking at. I don't know the data they're looking at. I mean, it's pretty obvious. We have a big immigration issue, okay? And the immigrants are taking a lot of jobs, and that's great, provided that they're legal, okay? We don't have wage inflation like we thought we had. We have rent inflation.
Is Kevin going to answer why the Nvidia CEO keeps on selling? Why do you think, dude? If your stock's at all-time highs, of course you're going to dump some and go buy some stuff.
Like, every day you can say, oh, it's sunny, I'm going to go out and say this. No, let's stick with the facts, okay? We do have some inflation numbers that have been too hot. We still are not at 4.2% on unemployment. We still have areas of the economy that need to cool down. That is not a prescription for selling everything. It's not a prescription for saying that we need to tighten. It's just a prescription for saying, look, the data's just okay. It's got to get a little weaker. That's the wrap. Everyone who's trading, they're like trying to go to the Hamptons.
Yeah.
Stop it.
Well, we did see TLT.
Hey, man, what's wrong with trading and going on vacation? Like, my trading account started at $900K. It's roughly $2 million. And, you know, just this year, I'm going to take some of that and I'm going to go on a vacation. The hell's wrong with that? I don't see anything wrong with that.
These are very, very hard. I just keep coming back to what are the best performing retailers? Okay, Walmart, because they can crush. There was a good piece yesterday we had talking about how Walmart can still go higher. It's like 3 martini lunch. Absolutely, Walmart can go higher. Costco can go higher, and TJ can go higher. Now, what are those three? Those are three when you're so frugal. It's like, forget about it. I'm just going to go to TJ, which, by the way, someone recommended Capri today. You know where I can get all the Capri you want? Next door. But you know, it turns out to be it's from TJX. It doesn't say Capri on the door. I got to go pay more for that.
This was an all-time high yesterday, Jim.
That company is about people being smart. Burlington is about people being smart. Capri is about people saying, okay? Urban, because of Newly, where you rent the clothes, is about people saying, great. This is about a frugal economy. And, you know, there are these themes that are happening, and they just don't seem to, no one seems to grasp them on the Fed. The frugal economy, why can't they just say, look, you know what, we're not as worried about food inflation as we were because there are two companies called Costco and Walmart, and that's 200 million people. So I don't know, the other maybe they have to go to Dollar Tree. Well, why don't they ever mention companies? Is it for Strecken Verboten? Is that Strecken Verboten to say, listen, Walmart is keeping prices down? Why can't they do it? We know Jay could do it.
This is on a day when McDonald's is launching their $5 value meal.
About time they crammed the stupid franchisees who didn't realize that if you sell more at a lower price, you can actually make it up, provided you sell more.
Yeah, the problem with that, and Kathy Wood and I had a discussion about that. The problem with that is people aren't showing up anymore. When people don't show up, you're kind of screwed. What are you going to do? So you can have lower prices, but if unit volumes are down because customer visitation is down, GG's. Not good.
And I was going.
And you know, you'll find there's a debate that Kathy Wood and Ross Gerber have because we put them up against each other, which was hilarious. You'll love it. But Kathy's really into reading earnings calls. And, you know, if anyone who's here knows that, so am I. Like, I love reading what's going on with earnings calls because they give you a look into the economy. What are businesses seeing? They're almost all complaining about lower visitation. So, somebody says, I found it. Sony I love how we're so into this. I personally am also trying to talk to GPT about it. It's not that, but that's a good one. That's a good one. Yeah, I don't know if it was even Sony. Like, I'm asking GPT about it, but I'm pretty sure it was. It's so weird because it was like a rectangle and then it had like a cylindrical thing at the top. Now I'm wondering if it was a speaker, if it was part of like the scrolling selection feature they had or whatever. So we'll get to the bottom of this before the day is over. But that's a good one.
Which is my home screen. But no, I get Teams. And then it tells me the Teams are, oh, look, there's like 5 new updates of Teams. I don't care.
So you think the regulators are they're not off base?
They're not aggressive enough.
They're not aggressive enough.
No, not aggressive enough. Because everybody knows that it's time. We all know it. It's like it's a mistake. Oh, here, new Teams. Did I ask for that? Did I ask for that? When I wake up, does my wife say, hey, listen, you know what? I've got new, I've got all new underwear for you. Did I ask for that? Is there my
So
current underwear?
is the remedy simple in this case?
I think that they have to say, look, you can't make it so that when you turn on a PC, that these companies that make the PCs are under orders, or I don't know how it happens, but like, why are we constantly getting these updates from Teams as soon as we turn on our PC? And the answer is because Microsoft's really powerful. Or Microsoft just said to me, Jim, if you knew how to turn on a PC better, then you wouldn't be getting it. You know, if you knew that
it's all in the wrist.
Yeah, I mean, maybe what you ought to do is stop pressing restart and press anti-Teams. We have that. You want anti-Teams? That's F74.
Oh,
everyone knows this. Everyone.
Uh-oh. Please wait. Somebody's like thinking of GameCube. Hey. Oh, maybe it was Panasonic, eh? Or Philips. It could have been. Who knows?
And what colour the candidate's tie will be, or what they will wear, to who will interrupt the moderator first, or whether Biden falls asleep. We're all over it. Speaking of bets, Barstool guy Dave Portnoy had $180,000 on the line when protesters stormed the PGA Championship. He was furious. Did he wind up making any money, though? That's the question. I will ask him. Portnoy is next.
180K. That's what I was betting on Nvidia yesterday with puts into the close.
Think are safer? I mean, is it just the...
Yeah, I remember I was like frustrated yesterday. I'm like, I was sending alerts in my Discord. I'm like, this is annoying. I can't, like, the market's trading sideways during the day. Like, I try to be just transparent with my what's going on with my trade ideas, because sometimes I'm just like, this is stupid. Like, I personally don't see something good to trade right now. And I just don't. And then if I do, it's like, I get punished. But then going into the close, I'm like, it's happening! Nvidia's crashing! It was great. Those puts just printed.
You want to maintain your exposure there. And so I think there are opportunities there, even though there are risks there,
Where?
just like they are here. And I think being diversified is still the way that you deal with uncertainty, not being concentrated. And so to me, I do like those segments of the U.S. market. I like international stocks. And I just think it seems highly contrarian right now. But I think, a few months from now, I think you're going to be hearing more about that type of investing, which I think is more important. It's focused more on valuation, not just themes and dreams of growth in the future.
Oh, we always love a contrarian take, especially if it's from a conservative mouth. Brent, thanks so much for joining us. Brent Schutte there of Northwestern Mutual Wealth Management. Joining us now to talk about some of the stocks moving ahead of the opening bell this morning. Some of the individual names is Abigail Doolittle. Abby, what are you looking at?
Well, Matt, let's start out with the shares of NVIDIA. We're just talking about that bounce back rally. We do have the stock up more than 2% after sliding more than 10% in 3 days. So a fast correction. But we've seen this story before this year, from the March peak to the April low. Basically in a bear market, then the big move higher. Net right now on the year up more than 140%. As for some of the stocks that are dragging on the overall indexes, let's take a look at the shares of Boeing. They're falling in sympathy with Airbus cutting their earnings view and planes to be delivered on supply chain issues. Connected to Boeing, we have Spirit AeroSystems down 3.6%. Boeing is, of course, to buy a part of that business valued at $35 per share, but now they're talking about it largely being a stock transaction as opposed to an all-cash transaction. Investors apparently not liking that. And then Carnival sliding ahead of earnings, which should be coming out any moment. Bookings are actually expected to be strong. I'm just taking a quick look to see if that release has come out. It has not, but it should soon, and we'll be talking about that on the open, Matt.
Absolutely. We will talk about that. That deal is very interesting. Switch from a cash deal to a stock deal. And obviously, we're watching the aerospace area very closely. Abigail's going to come back in just a minute. We're going to talk about a pool stock. Have you put in a pool already? Are you planning to, or is money tight right now? Also, shares are taking a belly flop after the company slashed its forecast after the bell. So we're going to take a deep dive. Oh, so many puns. This is Bloomberg.
Yeah, the Doombergs. Kevin puts in the work. It's ultimately the hardest part of anything. Yeah, I don't like waking up at like 5 a.m. And it sucks. It's like, I don't want to wake up early. I had wine with Lauren last night, and we're hanging out, having a good time, and I'd much rather wake up when she does. Which, like when normal people wake up. I don't know, maybe we're all just not normal. But, so. All right, are we buying puts on video? That's interesting. It is. I mean, based on this pre-market, I don't think I want any puts today. I know what you're betting on. You're betting on the reversal, but the market is it's always like sheepish. So it's like, oh, okay, pre-market green, buy the dip. So I wouldn't be surprised if you actually got a violent up. There's just no news, so things are boring. Like, the only news is that the market is up in pre-market. So, honestly, I'm probably looking at where some of my support lines are, and I'm gonna probably be going calls today. So we'll see. Does she have McDonald's coffee in her hand? No. Did Kathy have coffee in her hand? No. We did give her wine. But that was after. We had a VIP dinner. We were like 80 people at the Allegro at the Wynn. Has anybody ever been to the Allegro? By the way, I'm looking up all of the ones that y'all keep sending. I'm starting to wonder if my memory is dysfunctional, because I've literally looked up about 27 different models now that GPT has been suggesting, and I just cannot find it. So it must have just been like one of these like weird one-offs. Oh well. I wonder if it was maybe my timing is wrong. Maybe it wasn't in 9th grade. Maybe it was when I was in what if it was 2 to 3 years earlier. Could have been when I took the bus. I did a little bit in high school 2 to 3 years earlier. So like 2003. I might be just a little off on the timing. If we shift our timeline back to 2003 to 2004, we're delving into an era where MP3 player design markets were even more varied and experimental. I have to say, I mean, I do find it entertaining that looking all of these up, because a lot of the ones y'all are suggesting I saw people had. But I just can't find mine. It's sad. Why do I care about this old stupid device? They called them network wall. Oh my god! There it is! It's been found! Oh my lord, that is so weird. I don't even know what the hell that is. It might have just been the selector thingy at the top rather than a speaker. In its design that showcased the special titanium fabrication process, joints are nowhere to be seen on the case. Its jog dial, hold bar, and dials and other buttons were easy to use, despite the player's ultra compact form. That's it. I was looking in the wrong time frame. I was 2 to 3. That was it. And it had the speaker on the side. Obviously, you put, like, you know, earbuds in or whatever. That was it. That's crazy. Oh, it's been found. See, people are like, what the F? That's what I'm saying. I know, it was weird. That's what I'm saying. The Microsoft Zune. I remember when the Zune came out. If I recall, because I don't know the timing, but I just, like, if in my memory remember when that came out. It was an iPod competitor, basically. And I would guess it came out about a year after the first iPod. Let me see. iPod release was November of 2001. It would have probably been like 03. Zune. The Zune came out. Oh, it didn't come out until 06. Oh, wow. They were late. That's crazy. That's great. Looks like a cigarette lighter. Looks like a paper shredder. You guys remember the Razr phone? The T-Mobile Razr, I remember upgrading to that sucker right before the iPhone. I was like everybody wanted to use it. I remember being on the school bus and people like, oh, bro, it has colors. Oh, wow. It's crazy. All right. So anyway, yeah, I think today's looks like a toilet paper roll. I told you it was a funky freaking design. Yeah, the Razr was sick. So anyway, I think today's the day of calls, and there's really not like that much functional news. I mean, do I really care that Bowman's like, I need my data before cuts? Okay, y'all have said that 27,000 times. It ain't news anymore. It's boring. There's a story here. Joe Biden could actually win Florida. That'd be crazy. The Florida Democratic Party insists the state is in play in November. Oh, okay. That'll be interesting. NVIDIA rallies from its plunge, pulling up the indices. Oh, did we get the home price numbers? Let me see here. Have I thought about exiting NVIDIA entirely? I have thought about it. The value, like I've been trimming a lot, especially last week when it was at like the 140 and 130s. I'm like, I'm going to sell a little bit, and by a little bit I mean like half. But anyway, S&P home price data came in. Survey was 0.3 on the month over month. We actually got 0.38, so it was actually a little more than expected. The year-over-year number came in at 6.29. None of this matters, though. That stuff is like 2 months delayed. It's literally April data. Stupid. Waste of time. I could tell you, physically being in markets, sellers are rushing to throw stuff onto the market, and inventory is rising everywhere. And I warned that it would happen. I've literally been saying it for a year. I'm like, we're going to take a little breaky-dakey because we're about to see inventory explode. Like, the easiest way to know what's going on in the real estate market is to get your butt in the market. By the time you're reading about it in the news, or by the time you're hearing people make videos about it, it's usually already old news. Unless I'm making the video. Anyway. So, old people in Florida depend on Social Security, and Republicans want to destroy Social Security. I don't think either of the sides want to destroy Social Security. But sure, you know, entitlement programs are something that a lot of folks talk about regarding just the budget and the budget deficit. And then, of course, there are people who are like, hey, I resent that you call it an entitlement program. Like, that's what it actually is called. So, like, get over it. It's a word. But I'm not entitled. That's Gen Z. Like, oh, my God. No. Of course, inventory always rises in the summer. That's not the claim. The claim that I made was that inventory will rise and you won't have the buyers anymore. I still gotta post my video from when I was in, where did I go? Omaha, Nebraska, Council Bluff, Broomfield, Colorado. I just flew there and, for work. And got my latest real estate on the boots on the ground update. I'll share the video. I just gotta edit it together. Maybe I could do that today or tomorrow. I don't know. I should tell myself I'm gonna do it today. But anyway, has anybody ever flown with JSX and did you like it? JSX. I want to see what the opinion is. Somebody says out in Qatar. Alright. Economy is literally tanking under Biden. Well, depends if you're looking at the economy like Ross Gerber or like Kathy Wood. And you're going to see, I'm going to post a video today, a debate between the two of them. And it is so incredible how different their perspectives are. You'll see it. Just stay tuned for that on the main channel. Well, I've done 2 tours in the Middle East now, and I work to help sanctions for the U.S. I call them entitlements. There you go. You may be my comment. Well, hey, Westminster's a good area. I like that area. You're just if I get my geography correct, you are northeast, so top right of Broomfield, or it's just to the east. It might be just to the east. Because I think it's from the Rocky Mountain Airport. It's definitely northeast, like 15 minutes. It's probably just east of Broomfield. Anyway, good area. Yeah. Been using JSX since 2019. Amazing. My uncle, who knows everything about planes, say JSX days are numbers. They're abusing a loophole the government is trying to cover. Interesting. Okay, you're going to have to give me a stat on the conservatives saying they want to end Social Security. I think there's some people who have mentioned that, but certainly not a presidential candidate. JSX was great. It's great if you need to travel with your dog. Oh, interesting. I want to fly KP. Oh, hell no. Fly NetJets. They're great. NetJets is... I've had people ask me that. They're like, oh, why don't you do like a jet charter service or whatever? I'm like, I can't compete with NetJets. They're so good. They're so good. I'm just not going to get into something that has such good competition that I respect. I like getting into businesses where the competition sucks. Interesting comments here. Thoughts on energy? Yeah, I think it's overblown that people think energy use will expand so greatly because of AI. I think the efficiency of chips will actually let us do substantially more with less. And then we'll overbuild energy infrastructure anyway in anticipation of it, and energy will actually just become more plentiful, stable, and cheap. Been a native to Omaha. Looking forward to your Midwest video. Yeah. Drove by Warren Buffett's house. Actually, I didn't drive. I mean, I did drive by it, but then I got out of the car and I was like snooping around, and I'm like, all right, I should stop being here before the cops get called. There's this weird guy in 80-degree weather walking around with sunglasses, jeans, and a sweater. He's either criming or he's a Californian. Criming. No, JSX, they're not private jets. They call them semi-private. They're basically commercial jets that are easier to walk up to and smaller with regional routes, right? Oh. All right, minute to go to the opening bell. Looks like there's a little bit of a relaxation going into the open. You could see Tesla just dropped a bit into the open here. The Qs just dropped a little bit going into the open. Nvidia's dropping a little bit going into the open. You know, there was somebody who said buy puts at open. Maybe that'll be the trend. I don't know. I usually determine after the market is open what the trend is. if I had to guess, I would be more bullish than bearish today. But I don't know. All I know is it's that time for that sound. We missed this yesterday. What are my lines for GME? Oh, you want my lines? May the odds forever be in your favor. Oh, man, you sound like a quest giver. Like I'm gonna walk up to you and be like, I don't know, what are the ones they used to say in WoW? Give me some quest giver lines. May the wind be at your back.
Big board today, it's consulting company Booz Allen Hamilton celebrating 110 years off the NASDAQ. Amphastar Pharma, maker of injectable and intranasal medicines. As we see breadth at the open here, kind of evenly split, Jim.
I think my favorite opening line, oh yeah, blood and thunder. That was a good one. For the Horde, that's a good one. I think my favorite one was in the Undercity. You'd always get the zombies. Well, they're not zombies, but for people who didn't play, they're undead. Trust no one. Look-ta. That's a good one. Yeah. All right. Nvidia, you got a red candlestick here, but the first minute's always kooky dookie. I'm curious to see if the put buyer's gonna be right. May your bloods never dull. That's a good one too. I like may your bloods never dull. Blades. I love that. So red candles here on DJT. Yeah, see, there it is. So I like, you just don't know. Like, you got to give it a few minutes to see the direction and the trend. See, Tesla wants to push. Here we go. Buy the dip. Super micro. Trying to break through 840. Oh, yeah, I was going to do the GME lines. These are my GME lines. Yeah, GME sitting at about, what? Just turned negative. 2360. 9% on DJT. It's coming back up already. Really trying to push these green candles here. Oh, wow. Go to the unaveraged, right back to red. Look at it. How do you... What? Oh, my gosh. Oh, wow. Here we go. All right. Put person. That's it. All in on puts. Put person was right. Nvidia's going negative. Oh, the first 15 minutes are such a crap show. I love it. Yeah, Carnival's trend's not moving too much. Oh, nice red candle there. Ooh, Tesla, come on. Not the 183 line, no. What's BTC have to say? That's not much of a signal. Oh, AMDiz. It's not good. Oh, Palantir right off my line. Hey. Lines are supposed to be fun. What is this? Apple? I love Apple. The last few days they've been trying to push. Like yesterday they were trying to push too. Well, yeah, look at that. I don't know. Oh, here it comes. Yep. Oh, and the puts get smoked. Nope. And the puts print. And they get smoked. That's comedy. It's always up and down. So we'll see. We'll let this stabilize a little bit. See if Jimbo has anything useful to say. Unfortunately, maybe not.
That yields 3%, that sells at 10 times earnings, where something good is offsetting something bad. When I could be in a stock that sells at 20 times earnings and there's nothing, you don't have anything to offset, and that's the problem. I mean, you can't have anything in a piece which says, look, these are bad, but this will offset that. Right. When you have so many other companies where there's nothing.
No cons, just pros.
No cons. I mean, if I want, I work for Comcast. I own Comcast stock. I just wish that there was something new that would make it so that you don't have to offset because there's nothing to offset. Right. And that's what you have to look. Tough choices have to be made when you continue to offer a product and it's going down in value. And you have a great analyst writing a piece about Goldman and the stock is down 9 cents.
Yep.
That should say to you, wow, I don't know, man. Maybe the offset is too much
Yeah.
to
Yep.
overlook.
Speaking of tough choices,
Boring.
Jim.
Actually, what, 2 months ago, almost 75,000 at a record high. Also, liquidations. If you look at outflows from the ETFs, they were very popular, but the outflows in the past 2 weeks topping $1 billion. Bernstein, still a bull. They call Bitcoin the new Trump trade. They say a Trump win in November would lead to a cryptocurrency rally bolstered by institutional adoption and improved regulation. And I think most people would agree with that.
And Trump is.
The market, I don't know. I think I might start flip-flopping on the idea that calls are going to be juicy today. You just keep getting sold. So it's almost like the little rallies are becoming an opportunity for people to get cheaper shorts. You know, I realize why my shorts are so cheap, by the way, because they're so short. They cut material out. But yeah, no, I don't like this pattern so far at all. There's no trend here. It's up and down and up and down. Oh, look at the BTC signal though. BTC just screamed, "Puts, baby. Put me down." It's still going.
In cash in the first quarter and have warned that the second quarter won't be any better. So this is a company that's losing more than $1 billion in cash a month. Yeah. So obviously this company has a lot of issues, and cash is something they will want to preserve. We're hearing that the deal might be close, but these sort of final backs and forths are putting a bit of a strain on the timing. We're hoping that maybe they'll be able to get it over the line this week. It's an incredibly complex deal to unpack because Spirit is the main supplier to Boeing, but they're also a big supplier to Airbus, which is obviously the arch rival of Boeing. So sort of piecing that apart, making sure that the bits of Spirit that provide stuff for Airbus land in the right camp and the other parts land in the Boeing camp, that's really complicated. So you've got the financial element, you've got the operational part, all of which sort of make up a slightly messy picture, which is why this deal is dragging out.
By the way, in terms of Airbus, Benny, you know, when I was with you in Berlin 2 years ago, I talked to Guillaume Fauré, and he said at the time his suppliers just weren't ramping up their production of the parts he needed fast enough, and that was a huge constraint on sales. Now he's said that the problem is worse than he's expected.
Yeah, I mean, this is the thing, you know, on the one hand, no surprise, because as you said, this is something they've spoken about for years. Coming out of the pandemic, probably even before the pandemic, supplies were always a big issue. This is not a demand story, it's a supply story. The suppliers do not have the manpower, they don't have the equipment, and that's really rippling through the line. So will it get any worse? They might try and stabilize some of the most vulnerable suppliers, as we're seeing with Spirit now, but there are others out there that they're taking a very close look at.
Spirit or Spirit Aerosystems?
And additional manpower. But he has said, as recently as this month, he told us, this is a problem that will stay with us for another 2 to 3 years, so no real improvement on the horizon there.
Has Airbus, Benny, managed to really capitalize on the big Boeing problems, the nasty headlines, the 737 issues, the whistleblowers? Has Airbus actually taken customers from Boeing because of that?
Not in a tangible way. I mean, this is always what people might think. You know, you've got these two players, so if one is down, the other one picks up business. But this is a really long-term operation. If you're an airline that's a loyal Boeing customer, you won't quickly switch. There's a lot invested in that relationship in terms of training, in terms of simulators, in terms of crews, in terms of maintenance. So you can't just go back and forth. And the other thing is, even if you wanted to go to Airbus, they just don't have the planes to sell. So, you know, you could say, hey, we'd rather go from the 737 to the 320. Airbus will say, great, but join the end of the line because we're sold out until the end of the decade. So they've picked up a couple of sales here and there, but not in a big business, in a big way.
All right, Benny, thanks so much for joining us. Bloomberg's Benedict Kamel there in Berlin.
All right, I'll flip on back over here. See what else is going on. And NVIDIA is just under 120 right now, bouncing around that 1.5-ish level. Let's see here, and then give a listen into Jimbo.
They would have been buying that SR.
Sure.
You know,
I mean, don't these kinds of charts shouldn't they be getting the Fed's attention?
That's my point. Exactly. It's like, let's deal with the fact that there are so many segments that are cooling and just focus on the ones that haven't, and that's rent, that's housing, and that's cars. And if cars come down, if the CDK hack is that bad that they can't sell as much, and if we have incentives coming back, then just check box, check box, check box. But when you look at the stock of Home Depot, you go through the comp scores at Home Depot, there's nothing good. It's just nothing bad.
Right.
But, I'm used to Home Depot being great every quarter.
Jim mentions cars today. Wells has a preview of the coming quarter for the industry. Another tough setup, Jim. Who's worst positioned?
Yes.
We are the least confident on Tesla. We expect another sub 400K delivery quarter, lower pricing, financing.
Right, you have to go to the creative piece, by Jonas about
energy.
Energy,
Yeah.
and it's worth it. You can always just say it's worth X number. I'm telling you, I still think that Tesla's bottoming. I do not like the action in any of these car retailers that had problems with CDK, because these are places where every single weekend is a huge amount of business, and you can't do all the business by hand. I mean,
Which they literally have been doing.
Oh my
right?
God, yeah. I mean, CarMax is a really smart, very technologically inclined company, and they have I think the least exposure to this, but everybody's got some exposure.
I had to tweet that. I think it's so funny when they poop on Tesla. It's like the bottom's in, baby. Anyway, somebody donated money, and I saw this. This is a mover. This one's moving quite a bit here. This is what is this? This is ENVX. So they're like a ENVX. They're a smaller, like $2 billion market cap company, and this one's moving on a partnership arrangement. A lot of volume as well on social, kind of just prodding around, and signing some deal on a battery pack to deliver batteries for mixed reality headsets. Whatever, who cares? But basically, the idea is like there's a lot more volume on the stock than ever than before. Obviously, in this market, you're going to get green and red candles. But anyway, this is that one's up like 23% today, which is wild. You've got Nvidia. Look at that. Nvidia goes back to green. So the puts just got a little less juicy, so to speak. Then you've got, let's see here, you've got the Qs at 0.39 right now. You've got Enphase at 1.6. You've got Under Armour 2.2, Coinbase 1.21. These are all green. Well, except for Enphase. Enphase is 106. Come on, Tesla. Right between the lines, baby. Right between the lines. Come on. Pump it. Look at that. It's a perfect bounce on my 182 line. And that's a yellow line, too. It's not even a big boy. It bounced right on it, though. Kind of perfect. So what else we have here? Ooh, Apple. Uh-oh. Getting some red candles right here. Nvidia is up now 2.5%. So puts would have got, puts could have worked for 2 minutes, but you would have only had 2 minutes. That's freaking crazy. Then you've got Carnival capping out. Okay, a little bit of a cap out right here. Qs are still trying to push. And then you have Nvidia. Oh, they just passed $15 right here, the ENVX or whatever. That's interesting. Apple capped out at 210. I really thought that Apple would have moved more, honestly, on AI. I think it just needs to show up in the revs, and then once it shows up in the revenue, it'll be a little bit more juiced. But I don't know. I'm a little surprised by that. So then, oh wow, Nvidia 3%. Wow. Oh, looks like one of my stops just filled. This stuff. If you don't use stop losses as a way to take profit, amazing tool. 12.2K. I'll take it, but I might go back into that. basically what I do, and I love doing it, is I set a stop limit, and then I just modify the stop up. Now, the downside is sometimes you get stopped out early, and I've had that happen. But you just basically, it's like doing a trailing, right? You just sort of trail by, 5% or whatever. Okay, so I'll take that. So, yeah, this is weird. Just look at that. You went basically where you were at the open. Yeah, why not use trailing? Because Webull doesn't offer trailing. I wish it did, because then I could automate it. Webull doesn't. Webull has trailing stops on stocks, but not on options. So basically, what you have to do is if you set in a stop loss and a take profit order, which I do, I usually set my take profit up like 30 to 50%, and then if I'm in the right direction, whether it's puts or calls, as I'm moving up, I'm just moving up my stop loss towards actually not a stop loss anymore. It's basically my lower limit take profit. I'm just edging that thing up. Who doesn't like edging? Edge it up. So, yeah, I do wish they had trailing, because then I could just automate that. I know a lot of other brokers have it. But, yeah, IBKR, you have cheaper fees, too. A little more complicated, less intuitive of a platform, but it's certainly a better institutional grade platform. You're running a hedge fund or whatever. You're not going to be running it off of Webull, I mean, maybe somebody runs a hedge fund off of Webull, but I would suspect you're probably using IBKR or something. So, yeah. Tesla recalling Cybertrucks? Let me see here. Oh, I played Pump It Up for summer yesterday because they're like, oh, we have to, hook you back up to your like feeding tube. And so I made her watch the entire Pump It Up music video. She actually enjoyed it. Let's go. Tesla files recall of 11,300 vehicles. What is going to be another software update? Tesla recalls Cybertrucks twice in one day to fix faulty parts. Oh, Tesla's recalling its Cybertruck model again over faulty windshield wiper components and trim pieces that may come loose when driving. Oh. Calling back more than 11,000 Cybertruck. Well, that's going to be all of them. It estimates in the filings that 2% of the pickups may have defective wiper motors and 1% may need trim pieces replaced or reworked. Oh, so they'll just recall all of them to see if they have the defect, basically, to inspect them. So that a lot of them they might just look at and go, it's fine. Makes sense. Yeah, look at that. NVIDIA 3.2. I don't know. That the call. I think today might be a calls day. I mean, that's what my 12K move here was a. How much did I bet? I bet $60,000 and I got out like roughly 72. I can just see what the exact was. It was. That's actually exactly what it was. I bet 60 and I got 72-ish out. But I think today might be a calls day. And that's what I mentioned at open. And, the first little bit's always volatile, but we'll see if it can keep moving. So, Affirm's down 3. Interesting. Yeah, look at the Qs. 50 basis points. Apple's up. Nice. Let's go move again here. You've got ENVX. You've got DJT. 3 years ago. Oh, yeah, I remember a lot of people have come to me and mentioned this company. But, I never invested in them. Well, I mean, other than like a trade maybe. But, yeah, it sounds familiar. There's another one, too. It was the gaming one with the E that I always get confused with. Okay, so Apple pumps it up. GameStop, pump it up. No, you are seeing a little bit, some red candles here. Apple capped out right around the same time ENVX capped out. Look at this. So you capped out right here. Looks like about 47. That's right around the same time. Apple led them by about 2 minutes because Apple capped out. DJT capped out a bit. NVIDIA is still trying to push. So are the Qs. You had a red candle right around that same time, 45 to 47 on the Qs as well. Tesla, look at that range bound move. I swear, Tesla, it's been a tough one to play options with unless you're really, really fast on the in and out on Tesla. It just does not hold its momentum long. It's annoying. It's a really tough one. And it's a frustrating one. AMD selling off. Now that's interesting because yesterday it mostly avoided a sell-off. So I wonder if NVIDIA or AMD is having its NVIDIA day today. But I do think it would be tough to go short AMD on a day the Qs are going up and NVIDIA's rising. That would be tough. Oh yeah, NVIDIA keeps going. Let me look here at NVIDIA. Let's see, I'm sure its volatility is a little on the higher side right now, but I'm going to compare it to AMD because that's going to help us know if the options are cheaper or more expensive. Yeah, NVIDIA's volatility is above range, so if you buy the options, you're paying a little bit more. AMD is below range. Okay, Qs. Enphase, gosh, Enphase just keeps dying. Tesla can't keep it up. Bitcoin's bullish today. Supermicro's back to 840. Yeah, that makes it, that's going to be a tough position to short. I don't think I could go in and short. Oh, that's a nice move on Robinhood. I don't think I can go short at all today. Today's a day for calls. Call me, maybe. Call me. If anything, maybe what you do is you go calls on AM Dizzle right here. If it forms a bottom. That might be the play. Because I don't want to chase that. And the premiums are higher. Bitcoin just moved down a candle. Tesla can't keep it up. You know, the market flip-flops more than I do, so who knows? So that means it never flip-flops, right?
Missing teeth.
Commercials everywhere. They're freaking boring. Bro, Kevin, what the F did you do to SoFi? Bro, I don't have an impact on the market. I am a small little trader. But I didn't touch SoFi today. And there's no volume here. You can't play this. This is a barcode. It's going to remind me of my days at Hollister. Beep. Till I got fired. Actually, I didn't get fired. I basically got fired.
Manhattan Institute. They had a record fundraising at their most recent gala, $4.6 million in one night alone. And that, of course, contributing to that overall about close to $200 million that the Institute has raised for furtherance of its ideas in the last decade.
Well, the story is really well done. I recommend that everyone with a Bloomberg check it out. And indeed, even if you don't have a Bloomberg, you can see it on Bloomberg.com.
Oh, 7% on Carnival. Now I want to see what it does right there on the line. I want to see it right there on the 1784. Tesla volume is crazy low. It almost always is. It's crazy. So he says, sometimes I see a red candle if you sell, Kevin. Well, I mean, that doesn't change the trajectory of a stock in the long term, even if that were true. Every candle you see is somebody buying and selling, right? It's the order book. So if somebody moves the order book, a few positions, doesn't necessarily have a long-term effect on the trend of the underlying stock at all. I mean, this is why you go into like an NVIDIA, you see, I mean, like, okay, so what? Somebody may have had a sell order there, right? It moves the order book, but doesn't necessarily hit the longer-term trend. This is starting to look more like a trend. Oh, God, I'm not showing the screen. This is starting to look more like a trend. This is what I'm talking about. Like, you get these random candles right here. Like, whatever. Okay, somebody moves it, like buys or sells up an order book for 30 seconds or whatever. That's called the market. But this is very interesting because I like looking for 5-minute trends. So if I can get 5 minutes of trend in a row, that's usually when I like making moves. And I like to use the single candlesticks too. See, look at that. The calls on AMD were looking good there. This might end up rallying more. This is interesting. I'm going to watch that too. NVIDIA topped out at 3.5. Carnival's having a tough time. Really slowly approaching this line. Yeah. Okay. Alright. Very, very interesting. Okay. What do we got here?
McDonald's big drop today. They said we're going to add a free Frosty in for our customers who purchase a Biggie bag, possibly to one-up McDonald's announcement. Now, keep in mind, if you're watching and you're interested, that deal is only going on for another 5 days. But hey, around the corner, there's a Starbucks here from the McDonald's HQ here in Chicago's West Loop, and they're also doing a value meal. You can get a tall drink, hot or iced, and depending on what food item.
Red candles coming through on Robinhood. Just capped out. AMD's getting a red candle. Apple's trying to go for a green candle. So's this one. ENVX. NVIDIA's going for a red. The Qs are going red. Ooh, Tesla tried breaking out of 183, but it's coming right back down. Volume did rise there for a moment. Carnival. Yeah, Carnival's pulling a red. Oh, ooh, the bad omen. Bad omen.
I'm glad you came.
Oh, I'm like, what is that? It sounds like a song. It is. Okay. How to get demonetized. Noob versus pro.
That's a front of the envelope calculation, Jim.
Can we just? It's a car company. It's doing very well. He's got a lot of other things in the fire, and
Yes.
I think it's a buy here. But I like Ford's a little easier. You got that 5% yield. It's down a lot versus GM.
Jim, we'll see it tonight.
Yeah, I got pets. I'm talking about pets tonight.
Oh, good. And and FedEx, of course, to stick around.
Exactly right.
Mad Money, 6 p.m. Eastern Time. Dow with some opening lows here, down 113, 40, or 54.55 S&P. Stay with us.
Thank you.
Yeah. All right. Come on, Tesla. Wake up. It's like a dead animal. You're poking with a stick. Wake up. The declining volume on NVIDIA or on AMD makes me not want to enter this. I need volume up, man. This is what I always tell the guys in the office. Turn it up. Actually, I should say that more often. But yeah, rather than renting event speakers, we like bought our own event speakers. And so now we can really turn it up. We got like the Bose like PR speakers. What are those things called? PR speakers? I don't know. Are they the S1s? Oh, Pro 32. Could have probably used a couple more of them. But they're pretty cool. I'm trying to, there we go. Oh, the second go away. This. Anyway. All right. Hood's trying to run. Oh my gosh, it's up to 27% now. NVIDIA wants to go green as well. Oh my lord. Everything's going bullish today. It's so bullish. Except for Carnival. Carnival couldn't pass it. You don't have the volume on this sucker. Not a surprise. It's not a surprise. Not a surprise at all. No volume, no money. No volume, no money. It's very simple. Q's move. Carnival's coming down. Oh, Tesla's trying to move up. And you definitely have more volume here than you had here. So that increasing volume, increasing price, juiced. Is there any news? Oh yeah, Tesla recall. Stock goes up. Nobody cares. No one cares about the Oracle. Man Group CEO says AI is part of firm's DNA. Oh, okay. Yes. Oh, yes, we are AI to the core. It is hardwired into our DNA. In fact, did you know it always has been, in fact? So dumb. Yeah. All right. Blah, blah, blah.
So we do.
Oh my gosh, they're all on commercial. It's because there's no news, man. There's no news. Everybody's bored. Oh my gosh, all of them are on commercial. What losers. All right, here comes a green. Well, you're on a nice green trend on NVIDIA. You got to give it to them. Yeah, AMD's stuck in the mud. Robin the Hood. Oh, Robin the Hood wants to keep going up. Tesla, it's trying. It's almost at 1% where it was in pre-market. And BTC wants to be bullish. It's got to be somewhere. What's happening to HD and Lowe's? Amazon? Oh, June consumer confidence, 100.4 versus the estimate of 100. A little bit better than expected there. Nice. Nice, nice. Amazon, nice trend up. Still going on NVIDIA. Oh, Tesla. Look at that. There we go. There it goes. Finally, Tesla moves. Finally, it has moved. Finally. Just as NVIDIA wants to do some moving as well. Now the question is, will it hold? It's like, who remembers that blender guy? Will it blend? I don't know. But I want to know. Will it blend? Yeah. Alright. So this one wants to keep trending up. ENVX. Enphase. Oh, did Enphase make a bottom? Don't know. I don't know. Tesla. Couldn't stay at the top of that candle. Okay. Alright.
June at 102 for the headline, which is a little bit higher, or I'm sorry, comes in at 100.4, which is down from 101.3 the prior month. The present situation is also a little bit lower, 141.5.
Yeah, we did cover the Canadian CPI number. You're right. It did come in a little high. Quite a bit high.
A little bit lower. Now, the big number in the consumer sentiment index, consumer confidence index, is always jobs. And you and I were talking in the last hour about Mary Daly warning that maybe unemployment goes up, but the number of people who say jobs plentiful has gone up in this report. The number of people who say jobs hard to get goes down. And I got one more chart I'm going to throw at you, and that is the consumer confidence numbers versus inflation. A lot of talk about whether we're facing inflation and the Fed's behind the curve. And while consumer confidence drops during inflations for the most part, it only drops right before the recession begins. And if you can look on the right-hand side there, we're not anywhere near that kind of thing. The one thing that is interesting is if you look at the recession in 1991-92, or rather 99, that is the tech recession, the tech bubble bursting, and maybe we face a similar situation today where everybody was confident because the tech stocks were going up.
I remember that. I was there. Mike McKee, thanks very much for joining us, our Bloomberg policy and economics correspondent. Let's turn now to what's going on in the markets this instant.
Yes,
joining us now is Stephanie Guild, Robinhood Financial Head of Investment Strategy. Obviously, not necessarily the second Stephanie, but great to have you in here to talk about what we've seen over the past few days because, you know, NVIDIA dropped, and I'm guessing investors, especially probably retail investors who are waiting, now see this as a sign to get in there.
Yeah, when you look at our Robinhood Investor Index, which tracks kind of what our customers are doing, NVIDIA is a core position. It's within the top 10, and we do see our customers trading around their core positions. So when it goes up, they tend to trim a bit, and when it goes down, they tend to take an opportunity to step in a bit more. And my guess is that they're probably doing the same for NVIDIA.
A lot of people have been talking about it as the most important stock in the world. There was obviously a split, which I guess, does that make it easier for retail investors to get in, or is this...
Oh my gosh, I don't know why. Does it make it easier? No, it makes it harder. What is a stupid question is that? First of all, we got fractional shares, so it practically doesn't matter, though not every broker has it. Oh, but no, it makes it harder. That's just... Sorry, like, sometimes I hear these things and I'm like, what? Sometimes people tell me I get angry too fast. Me? Volatile? No. Anyway, this is Tesla. Congratulations, Tesla. Let's go. Let's go. Recall comes out. Jim Cramer says it's the worst stock. It goes up. Let's go. Yeah, this is actually good. This is a breakout of the 183. I don't have another line set, but I do think probably 188 and certainly 190 could potentially start becoming a risk point. So we'll watch that. Yeah, and I'm sure if you're in the Stocks and Psych course, you already know my strategy at the moment. We's making monies. I shouldn't say we's, because I can't guarantee. I don't recommend people copy me, and I can't guarantee people make money or lose money. I just try to teach when I see trends. Y'all know that. Coupon expires Friday, though. We're doing that right after the debate. We're like, oh, the debate? We'll raise the prices again. By the way, we had a few more signups after I mentioned it yesterday in that video to the Meet Kevin Mastermind. We're basically, what's great about it is we're going to be able to fly around the country, well, because we have a frickin' plane. And so we'll be able to do the masterminds in various different locations, which will be really cool. But that's at meetkevin.com/mastermind. Is Robin the Hood holding up? It kind of is. But that's it. I don't know if that's enough of a trend for me to get, like, really stoked on that. Oh, there's a red candle on Tesla. What is this? No, up, not down. Don't break that. Don't break the prior candle. Go the other way. Video 3.23. Oh, second red candle there. And you're getting a lot of red candles now. Red candle Apple, red candle Nvidia. DJT went down to 35. 35 is an interesting spot. And then you have, okay, what is this? Let's see here. And then you have the AAPLs. Oh, hey, there's AMD coming up a little bit. Still looking at calls on that sucker. What's Tesla doing right now? It'll come back. Then you've got, what is this? BTC still trying to push bullish. All right, let's listen in over here.
Expectations can, in the intermittent period, get ahead of themselves. And I'm kind of, looking at something like a Micron to kind of tell where we are, especially in this period right now. If you think about it, this kind of time period in between earnings seasons often can feel stressful, and so I think the market can feel soft in the short term. But if you look back over the last 30 years, September's always been the worst month, and so we have this kind of joke amongst my teammates that you say, instead of sell in May, you sell in July and come back in September. That being said, I think for the long-term investor, I think we still have very strong growth ahead of us, but it doesn't mean that we can't have a correction sometime this year.
Right. Well, I mean, one of my viewers earlier was writing in, hey, why don't I just sell stocks now? I'm already up 14% year to date. I don't want to deal with the stress around November. I didn't ask him about September. But, it's been a good run, right? On the other hand, the average bull market going back to the 50s is a doubling, more than 100% gain. So you could lose out on a lot.
The market is made to make new highs over time, right? And one of the most famous investors, Peter Lynch, did say that, preparing for a correction has probably lost people more money than actually the correction itself. And that's sort of, I think for the right time horizon, I don't think you need to worry about it. For short term, if you kind of investing for the next 6 months, yes, you have to worry about the volatility and what that could mean. And look, cash is offering a pretty good return these days.
Yeah, all right, so you're still bullish, though.
I actually, it's funny, I had somebody asked me at, actually a lot of people regularly ask me about the, so like, oh, well, what if there's a recession or whatever. I actually think that recessions are like the best motivation that you could ever have to go out there and crank. Because think about it, if you're worried, at least this is me, if I get nervous about a recession, what I just do is I just work harder. So I'm like, all right, that means we're going to need more cash. I'm going to work even harder so that I'm more prepared in the event there's a recession. And if there's not a recession, fantastic. I make more money and then I'm more protected. That's the idea. I also think everybody should have a side hustle, mostly for tax benefits, but that's really a different topic. All right, go back to the doomers here.
Interest rate environment.
All right, Stephanie, great having you in the studio. Thanks so much for joining us. Stephanie Gildair of Robinhood Financial. Let's take a look now at what's moving markets with Bloomberg's Emily Grafeo. She brings us some of the movers she's watching. Emily?
Well, Matt, you said it at the top of the hour, the most important stock in the market, in your opinion, NVIDIA. I'm looking at that stock because it is stabilizing after that $430 billion market cap wipeout last week. The drop also pushed it last week into a technical correction. That's when a stock drops more than 10%. Though technical analysts over at Oppenheimer point out that NVIDIA is still trading above its 50 and 100-day moving averages, which according to the folks over at Oppenheimer means that the longer-term trend for NVIDIA is still pretty strong. And I think most analysts would agree with that. Very bullish on this stock. And you want to look no further than the ETF market, Matt, to see just how much this stock and the moves here are really whipsawing investors. There's an ETF, I'm sure you know it, the 2X leveraged NVIDIA ETF from Granite Shares, the ticker NVDL.
You got to pump it up, don't you know? Pump it up. You got to pump it up.
Whatever, you doomers. Whatever. All right, come on, baby Tesla. Get some move on here. It's a little boring. Tesla's just sitting there a little bit. AMD is doing like this nice little slow rise. Slow mover over here. Nice and chill. It's I like to call it relaxed. Unfortunately, I kind of hate trading in relaxed because I'm not a relaxed kind of guy. I like hanging out with people like Ben Mala. We're gonna go do something. Make some money! I think it's very difficult to trade options when markets are sideways or barcoding. I usually just get sad and go away. Anyway, GameStop's down about 2.4%. SoFi's down a little bit here. Robinhood's capping out. Apple's coming down, capping out a little bit. Wow, this sucker kept running. ENVX kept running. So that's cool. Oh, there we go. Let's go, Tesla. It's a teeny tiny candlestick, but I'll take it. Come on, baby. Daddy needs some new shoes. And every penny these frickin' options go up is $1,000. I actually have more shoes than Lauren, so I don't think I need more shoes. Oh, no. You know what was terribly annoying? This is hilarious. Hold on. I think it's hilarious. I think they're right there. Hold on a sec. Let me get this. You got to see this. Hold on. Okay. I don't know how this happened, but this was so annoying. When I was at at my event this weekend, I brought my Hugos. Except I don't know what happened, but the soles started coming loose. And then they turned into clappers. So, called them my tap dance shoes. I guess I gotta get that fixed. Yeah. So, anyway. Yeah, Gorilla Glue. Exactly. Let's go. So, anyway. Oh! Oh! While Daddy went to go get his shoes to talk about needing new shoes, Daddy just made another $16,000. Let's go! Oh my god. Thank you. Did I mention there's a coupon code expiring Friday for the courses on Building OS? Okay, sorry. I'm sorry. Oh, hold on. I don't want my take profit to fire. Ooh, go up, 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 up. I didn't think it was gonna get there that fast. And now I gotta move my take profit up. Because I don't want that to fire yet. Because I want to keep riding this baby. Come on, baby. Here we go. Take profits up. Move up the stop loss. All right. Perfect. Oh, it just stopped out. Out. I don't know that trend's going to stop, but what did Daddy just make? $20,000. Let's go. Actually, it was a little bit more than 20. It was like 24 or something like that. I'll take it. Ooh, Nvidia's red candling right now. Hope your P&L's doing well today. I'm at 38.8 right now. Let's see if we can keep that pump going. Yeah. I usually keep options up on this computer. So I don't know why I'm looking at these right now, but you can see the realized P&L for the days right there, the 38.8 at the top. And then I'll throw like different options that I'm tracking up on here. They're also pretty easy to trade on Webull desktop. Okay. So let's see. I don't know. The whole market's coming down a little bit here. Stop buying Chinese shoes. Bro, these are Hugos. It literally says made in Italy, good sir. Proof is on the sole. Where's your sole? There. Hugo, and I'm pretty sure somewhere in that there, and that should say made in Italy. That's called being transparent. Okay. What is this with the queues? They're taking attendees away. No. No. What's a scam? Tendies. Need to make more tendies. Chicken tendies. Oh, Nvidia's coming down. Probably means Bitcoin's down. No? That's weird. Why? Why is Bitcoin up and everything else is rotating down? It doesn't make sense. It does not make sense. I don't know. Oh, no. Yeah. Oh, wow. That Google run, though. Nice. Nice Google run. Starting to get the red candles there as well, though, as the queues are rolling. Salesforce went back to the 240s. Disney's going nowhere. Oh, that one's back in that 27% range. Okay. Trump, that's pretty good. Whoa. Trump, yeah. Oh, okay. 6%. Yeah. It was up earlier, too. Nvidia, 2.5. What's going on with Tesla? Let's see here. Nvidia's still falling. And Tesla's barcoding. Ooh, nice drop on the Qs there. I don't think there's any news.
On the stock side, 10%, and you also saw it sort of ripple through the industry. If you look at some of the companies that work closely with Airbus, you had Safran in France, who make engines. You had MTU in Germany. You had Rolls-Royce in the UK, the engine maker, all down. And you know, some analysts really sort of shocked by this because what we saw was sort of an across-the-board reduction in Airbus's targets. They're going to produce fewer, they're going to distribute fewer planes this year. They're going to produce fewer aircraft. They're going to have less cash. They're going to have fewer earnings for the year. So really an across-the-board kitchen sink type.
Somebody says, stop looking at Bitcoin as a risk asset. Why? Please explain. If you are going to complain, you must have reason. FFIE, what's going on with that? I know yesterday that was going down. Is that one going up now? Oh, down another 28% today. The momentum is bye-bye. Yeah, Tesla's hitting a ceiling here at about 187. Apple's rotating down. Nvidia's trying to come back up. Qs are trying to come back up. That's good. Bullish. That is bullish, actually. Will CNN be a fair moderator of the debate? Methinks you can answer that yourself. Boeing or Airbus? You know, I don't like to bet against America, but how about option C, Embraer? Yeah, exactly. Embraer. There you go. You nailed it. 24K profit for breakfast. Pretty solid choice. Imagine wasting it on a Starbucks drive-thru. Yeah, how are you ever going to become rich if you buy coffee at Starbucks? Isn't that like the TikTok financial advice? I hate that crap. Like, I don't know. Like, I think maybe it's good for you know, like teenagers or whatever, but if you compound this out forever, no, we need real advice.
This journey, you look at what's going on in, you know, kind of large publicly traded media companies, and I think they're on the back foot playing defense because management and ownership really don't wear the same hat. Right? They have a very disconnected view of the world.
Is what you're saying that this makes a difference in terms of how they invest in technology, in AI?
I think it makes a difference on whether they're on the...
I don't care. Thanks for the $2.99.
Continue to live under the situation what they're seeing right now.
Coffee ain't what's keeping anybody from getting rich. That's right.
That's that 20.
Some funny comments. Try trading gold for a month. Bro, it just doesn't move, man. Gold doesn't move. Anyway.
Gaza was bad. A war with Hezbollah, Lebanon, which would be the third one, it'll make Gaza look like child's play because the amount of weaponry that Hezbollah has is enormous. And the weapons they've got, like their Fatah missile, which has a 1,000-mile range and has GPS-tipped warheads, can reach anywhere in Israel. And I think that war would be much more extensive, much more deadly, not just to Hezbollah, but also to Israel as well. So I think there are some concerns. Everybody should have them. But I think Israel has reached a breaking point on this one.
Russia is blaming the U.S. after Ukraine conducted an airstrike inside Crimea. They promised to retaliate. What form of retaliation do you think they might take?
Well, you know, this is one of those you go, oh, please. You know, and you look at them and say, okay, you can retaliate all you want, but we're not going to hold Ukraine back from continuing to attack targets. I would remind Russia, you started this war, and you're going to pay the price for it. In fact, the regret I've got is we didn't supply Ukraine with better weapons earlier on to force the issue on Russia. And this is one of those, it's just talk. And I would just tell Russia, you don't want to go there. And give the Ukrainians every bit of equipment they need to actually strike deep into Russia if they need to and actually force the aggressors back.
They probably will, Biden will probably not do that. He's probably not going to take an aggressive stand against Putin, is he?
No, not at all. I think you've seen that happen. Look, you know, we've said this before. You know, Russia took Crimea under Obama, and they've taken part of Ukraine proper under Biden, and he's not going to push back on them at all. He should, and we had an opportunity about 18 months ago to really push back hard. We didn't do it. It's almost a quid pro quo. That's not what Putin understands. Putin understands strength. He understands resolve, and they're not getting that from this administration. As long as it takes as much as it takes, which is the philosophy of the Biden administration, is a bumper sticker. It's not a strategy.
General, thanks for joining us. I know we'll see you again soon. Thank you, sir.
Thanks, Stuart.
WikiLeaks founder Julian Assange has agreed to a plea deal with the Department of Justice. What can you tell me about the deal?
Julian Assange will plead guilty in a U.S. federal courtroom in the Northern Mariana Islands. That's later today. It's the closest U.S. court to his home country, Australia, where his wife and 2 young children will be. He will plead guilty to a charge of conspiring to unlawfully obtain and disseminate classified information relating to the national defense of the United States. Then he will be sentenced to 62 months or the time he already served in a London prison. In other words, he's a free man pending a federal judge signs off on this plea deal.
Got it. Lauren, thank you. Vice President Kamala Harris slammed Trump for saying his felony conviction appeals to black voters. She called it insulting. We have the story. And it's been 2 years since Gianno Caldwell's brother, Christian, was murdered in Chicago. Gianno joins us on how he's taking a stand for the victims of senseless.
Let's listen.
The answers. Get all the answers. Ask Markham.
Everyone's being boring. I need activity.
You've got an option.
There is none. What is this? This is crap. Okay. So, let's see here. You like Snowflake here? I got 6 figures on calls. Huh. CRM, last I saw it was 241. Oh, sorry, that's Salesforce. Sorry, you said Snowflake. Snowflake. Oh, man. You're definitely trying to bet on a bounce there. Oh. I wish you the best. The longer-term downtrend's rough. I mean, obviously, depending on when you bought them, intraday, there's not a lot of volume at all. You got declining volume. I don't know, man. This is not a play for me. This is not for me. Tesla's volume just disappeared as well. So I want to be back in this, but I can't be in this right now. The declining volume's scary for me. It is a good indicator. If you don't look at the volumes, you might be making a mistake. Okay, NVIDIA. Okay, NVIDIA. Somebody's asking where my AMD lines are. They are at meetkevin.com with the coupon for Friday. I'm just kidding. They're right here. So I have a 140. And then my 164.46 is a stronger line. But just on like intraday trades, I've been using these purple lines, which have been okay some of my trading days, intradays. But these aren't too useful. So I generally trade the 165s if I'm going bullish on AMD. I'm generally going 165 just because of the 164.46 line. This is very simple. Yeah, no, Tesla's bleeding. Can't go back in here. I tried. I can't do it. I cannot stay. I'm sorry. It is not meant to be, you know? Okay. Microsoft being typical yes man. Let's see. MSFT. Ooh, 449. Let's see, BTC. Since you believe in productivity and tech, what make you think that? BTC. Oh, that's nice. And tech advancement will lead to negative rates this decade. Do you agree with Tom Lee's end of the... Dude, I honestly, I'm just going to be transparent here. I'm sure he's a nice guy. I don't listen to a word Tom Lee says. Because it's never bearish. So, again, I'm sure he's a nice guy. you know, if you're going to bet on the up, you're going to be right more than you're wrong because you're Train America, right? Like, I mean, you just look at it. You just zoom out. Look at a 50-year period. You're going to have more green years than you're going to have red years. It's very simple. So I don't know. I don't look at S&P price targets. I look at the SPY more than I look at the S&P. But you know, I'm not bearish about Train America at all. So yeah, but I need like, if I'm bullish, I want to read bear arguments. You know, if I'm bearish, I want to hear bull targets. But I need nuanced bull information, not it's just going up. And I'm not saying he doesn't provide more than that, right? This is not supposed to be. I'm sure he gives more insights, but I just don't pay attention because I've never in my life seen him bearish, and I associate with flip-floppers more. Sorry. Have you seen my flip-flops? I love my flip-flops. Okay, so... Alright, the market's turning a little boring right now, honestly. I cannot trade sideways. Ooh, coin's going up. Broke 218. That makes sense on that BTC rally. Goog keeps going. Come on. Nice BTC move there. That's bullish. Still hasn't really woken Tesla up, though. It is because Elon is not woke. Oh, okay. That's how that works. The stock cannot wake up. Stupid. Yeah, this is boring. This is so boring. Like, I don't know, the last 10 minutes just turned boring. There's nothing. There's nothing. It's boring.
But the idea of being able to get in and out even faster, not a bad idea at all. And all these locations here in New York will also have the Juice and Java in them as well. As for one concern around food, which I also felt last night, food inflation. But it's pretty interesting. If we use the ECAN function in the Bloomberg terminal to break out the food component, both what you take at home and what you eat out, you can see back in 2022 a big peak. Interestingly, that growth there, it's less than 1.6%. It looks much more dramatic. But now we're back down. Hopefully that will be filtering into prices that we see at the stores far more. As for Whole Foods relative to some of the other food stores out there, so Whole Foods, of course, a part of Amazon. To the best of my ability to...
Hut 8 mining up 17%. It's got a market cap of 1.3 bill. Volume's slowing down a little bit right now. But just be careful. It's going to trade as a BTC proxy, or I should say BTC derivative. Almost. So, you know, now you're capping out on BTC. It's crazy, you know. I said, like, a few weeks ago when Bitcoin was at 70,000, I'm like, I think it's going to go to 58,000. And there it is. Right there. 58,300. But, Kevin, why did you just 58,000? Because I have the 57.5 line, and I thought it would hit the brakes before that, which it did. Now, can it hold above the yellow line? This is very important. So we'll see. But that's a good breakout you had there. Very, very good breakout. But right now it looks like you're either coming back for a confirmation bounce or something. Let's see what happens. Tesla's trying to get a green candle, trying to get some life. This is... a little slow moving though right now, the market. I generally hate trading when it's slow like this. Ooh, the Qs are going up nicely though. Yeah. Alright. Very good.
That they need on the go. If you look at a place like Manhattan here, it's difficult to add an entire new Whole Foods Market store in a location, and it's a multi-year project, some cases 6, 7, 8 years. Here we can get a site really quickly with 10,000 square feet, open it quickly, and serve some of those unmet needs of our customers.
Yeah, space is definitely a commodity when it comes to this city in particular. So a bite-sized version of Whole Foods, a convenience store. What is the difference between this version, of course, the Whole Foods Market Daily Shop, and the 365 stores that you had a couple years ago?
Yeah, the 365 store was a much larger shop, and it was really aimed on the value customer. And so it ultimately was extending to a different spectrum and trying to expand sort of our customer reach. One of the things that happened when we became part of Amazon is we were able to reduce a lot of our prices. That's something we've been really proud of. And so as we did that step, we really didn't...
Yeah. That's for sure. That's the branding they're trying to come across with, because Whole Foods has always been sort of joked about as whole paycheck. So everybody kind of always makes fun of Whole Foods for that. So of course they're trying to counter brand.
It's a really large store. A customer who wants to just go and grab a few items, this daily shop format's going to be allowing customers to get in, get out really quickly, and at the same time, you can go to one of our other stores and do a full shop when you have a chance as well. So we see a lot of customers shopping across both of these formats as we go forward.
So when it comes to the daily shop, it sounds like it's the format that is the differentiator. It seems like the prices themselves will be similar to what you would get in the full Whole Foods.
Yes, and we're going to have, roughly 50% of the items we carry in our stores. There'll be less facings, but the essentials of what you need for everyday grocery shopping will still be made available. I know folks talk about it as being just a convenience shop, but the reality is this is sort of convenience plus. So think about all the essentials you need for grocery and a ton of on-the-go types of food, beverage, drink, etc. So it'd be a great way for customers who are in a hurry and still want to eat the high-quality products that we carry at great value.
And I hear what you're saying about, I appreciate the clarity that this is different from the 365, that once you were bought by Amazon, it sort of eradicated the need for that lower price tier. But that being said, are there any lessons that you took away from the 365 experience, applying it to this rollout?
Absolutely. One of the things that we really focused on was ways that we could simplify some of our experiences. These stores aren't going to have some of the same full service models, again, being a little bit smaller. So we took a lot of lessons learned from the experiment that we did with 365.
It makes sense that you've got a lot of these retail companies, and the same thing is true even of like a Home Depot or whatever, Ross stores, whatever. They don't need these large spaces anymore. At least not as much as they used to have. It's just because you can get so much stuff online. This is my thesis, at least. Oh well.
An average store, 25% of our prices. We also really honed in on what we call our opening price point items, many of those being our 365 items. We reduced...
Yeah. I do like the 365 stuff. But
it would take until the spring of 2025. The Fed could start cutting several months before that. But if we do 0.2%, just a few hundredths of a point higher, the Fed never gets there. Annual inflation settles at 2.4%. There are those who say we are not going back to that pre-pandemic level because of deglobalization, tariff wars, government spending, and continued high labor costs. Fed choices in that world include keeping rates high.
The idea that there's going to be deglobalization is the stupidest thing ever. Yes, that happened because of trade wars and China. But frankly, we're in a capitalistic world. When it's hard to raise your prices, you need to be more efficient. And if you want to be more efficient, you find the cheapest place to manufacture. And do you think that is the United States? No, it is not. It is not even logical to suggest it would be the United States to be the cheapest to manufacture. So you're going to go to another country. Taiwan, Indonesia, whatever. It just doesn't freaking matter. But no, we're going to deglobalize. This is stupid.
Market, maybe the bond spreads blowing out in response to political turmoil. I guess it's got to surface some opportunities. How are you viewing it?
I've been doing this since 1986, believe it or not. And we just go through these waves of political events that rock stock markets, whether it be elections or whatever you have. This political upheaval moves share prices quite aggressively. But the fact is, what it doesn't really move in most cases is the underlying company's ability to generate cash flow for its owners. And at Harris Oakmark, this is what we're looking at. We're looking at companies' ability to create wealth and to create cash flow streams for the owners of the business. So what we have to do is see how these actual political events, geopolitical events, impact those cash flow streams. And not surprisingly, they have a very, very small, if any, impact on these cash flow streams. Thus, the fundamental value of the business has barely changed. But in the short term, the prices have been hit quite hard. And in the case of the week before last, many stocks were down 5 or 10% in Europe based on what happened in the European elections and the calling for the French elections.
Tesla cannot get to 187. It just, I don't know what it is, but I'm just watching it, and it just continues to get rejected there.
As the ECB was easing rates and there's talk of the European economy more broadly on firmer footing, where in particular does it seem as if you've found some chances to get better values?
When you look at some of the multinational companies that, even though they're based in France, and of course, I'm not denying, France is facing political turmoil. Now, there's a company like Kering, which sells luxury goods under the name of Gucci, Saint Laurent, all over the world. I mean, France is probably a very, very small part of it. An advertising company like Publicis also got hit. And a very strong blue chip bank, BNP Paribas, got hit. So a lot of these companies got hit, even though their earnings should have very, very low impact. Blue chip Europe in general, if you shy away from, say, the Novo Nordisks of the world, offer some really good values, especially in the healthcare space. Switzerland has 2 very good pharmaceutical companies.
Okay, a little bored now. All right, so let's take one last check over here, and then I think I'm gonna push the button. Then I'm gonna make a coffee and kiss a baby. I have to pick which one's gonna get the kiss. Coinbase rotating down again, back to 218 because BTC topped out a little bit. Therefore, HUD 8 is topped out a little bit. You've got your Mag 6 are just slowly rising, probably because you're getting inflows into the Qs. Too boring to try to play options on. Tesla can't break 187, which is boring. Qs are slowly moving up, but I think my theta decay is going to be larger than the rate of the appreciation in the Qs. So, very boring. Sometimes what you could do is you could just look at these spark lines too. See where's a quick riser. Meta's obviously been doing very nicely, but it's also it's indexation. Microsoft, same thing. I need like something with some life in it. What is this? And you can always get Enphase if you need some puts. There's a company that's basically guaranteed to lose money in your portfolio. That's what it should be. That's how it should be. We should say. You should. How do I want to phrase it? Never mind. It's too confusing. All right. Whatever. Boring, 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 boring. It's all boring. It's all boring. Look at it. See Tesla right here. It can't do it. 187. On the minute candles, you basically have 3 rejects. This being another one, just pre-done. All right. No problem. I will take my $30,000 and go gamble in Vegas now. I press the button. Even though I'm a licensed financial advisor, real estate broker, and becoming a stockbroker, this video is neither personalized financial advice nor real estate advice for you. It is not tax, legal, or otherwise personalized advice tailored to you. This video provides generalized perspective, information, and commentary. Any third-party content I show should not be deemed endorsed by me. This video is not and shall never be deemed reasonably sufficient information for the purpose of evaluating a security or investment decision. Any links or promoted products are either paid affiliations or products or services which we may benefit from. I personally operate and actively manage ETF and hold long positions in various securities, potentially including those mentioned in this video. However, I have no relationship to any issuers other than HouseHack, nor am I presently acting as a market maker. All right. Thank you so very much for being here. Coupon code expires Friday. Goodbye, everyone. I go now.